Regardless if you're new or old to MapleStory, you probably make this one mistake during your boss runs that is stopping you from maximizing your damage like this. Here are two videos side by side. One of them has the common mistake, the other doesn't. Can you tell what the difference is? If you've guessed their burst preparations, you're correct. The video on your right goes through what I call burst preparation, while the video on your left goes through what people normally do. Preparing your burst in MapleStory is essential. In basketball, players prepare to shoot the ball by loading their hips and showing their hands before even getting the pass so they can release the ball faster. In baseball, the batter loads his legs and arms, getting ready to swing the bat before the pitch is even thrown. Imagine how much harder baseball would be if players could only lift the bat off the ground after the pitch is thrown. In MapleStory, it is the same idea. You prepare for a burst right before the actual burst happens, so you can get off your attacks faster and do more damage. Let me elaborate more if you're confused. Burst prepping, put simply, involves pressing most if not all of your burst skills / keys before you actually are allowed to burst. Here are some scenarios when you should burst prep. Number 1. Chaos Gloom's platform phase. This one is probably the most obvious and important one. You have a very limited time window of less than 25 seconds to do your burst damage. If you wait until you're actually on the platform to start hitting your burst keys, you will lose out on 5 to 10 seconds worth of damage. Instead, you should be hitting your burst keys approximately 5 seconds before the platform phase happens. The first platform stage is approximately 29:05, so I will start hitting your keys around 29:10. For the subsequent platform stages, I will wait 5 seconds after 2 individual stabs before I start burst prepping. Number 2. Going to Phase 3 Hard Lucid. You should be hitting your burst skills before Hard Lucid can be attacked in Phase 3. There is a time window of approximately 5 seconds before Hard Lucid becomes targetable and you can attack her. You should be hitting your burst keys either during that time window or before, depending on how many keys you have to hit. Number 3. Will's checks. Both Phase 1 and Phase 2 for Commander Will have segment checks. Once you pass those segment checks, there is a time period of a few seconds before Will becomes stunned and targetable after he moves you back into a certain map. You should use those few seconds wisely to prep your burst and begin attacking. If you're finding this video helpful so far, don't forget to burst that like button down below. As with everything in this game, burst prepping is very situational based, so don't go crazy pressing all of your burst keys before you actually burst for every single thing. Let's go over a scenario when you should not burst prep. Don't burst prep before going into Lucid, Will, Saren, or the like. These bosses have such a long cutscene that they will basically wipe out more than 20% of your burst, so it's definitely not worth burst prepping before you go into a bosses like this. For bosses such as Lotus, where you basically load in instantaneously, yes, maybe that could be a possibility for you, but for bosses that have long cutscenes, definitely not. Another thing to note, what keys you press will depend on your class and how long your burst lasts. Not every class burst preps the same. Some class may only need a few buttons for burst preparation, while other classes will need all of them. Using our example for Chaos Gloom, let's say you play a Kaiser. 90% of a Kaiser's burst lasts longer than 20 seconds. So what I do is hit all of those that last more than 20 seconds before Gloom spawns its platforms, so I can get straight to hitting right away once I am on those platforms, which only lasts for around 20 seconds. In contrast, let's say I am a Night Lord. Most of Night Lord's bursts last longer than 30 seconds, so those will need to be hit first before the platform spawn. But they also have burst skills that last shorter than 20 seconds. Those will need to be hit during or after the platform spawning. Now, knowing how to burst is essential, but if you don't know how to survive, that's a problem. One of the most important skills to help you survive in this game that everybody has is Hero's Will. Watch this video next to see 4 uses for Hero's Will that you might not have known about. Special thanks to M for Murder for supporting this channel. If you want to support the channel as well, make sure to hit that join button below. Talk to you all in the next video.